Apple TV just released the first few images from Cape Fear, which is going to be premiering on June 5th, and luckily for me, I am visible in the main image with Javier Bardem. I'm incredibly blurry, but I am there, which means I can talk a little bit about the show. Now, I'm still covered by a non-disclosure agreement, so I really can't go into anything that isn't already technically public knowledge, but I do have a very interesting story behind that shot in particular. So in the shot that's the main promo shot, we see Javier Bardem as Max Cady, and he's, clearly got a microphone giving a speech, and I'm there sitting at a table behind him. I'm fairly out of focus, but you can see that, I'm watching him during the shot. When we were filming this, we knew something really special was going on, because when we did this, what happened is, for this particular take, the director told Javier that he wanted him to look directly into the camera, which is something you usually don't do, and he gave him the note of, give us that Max Cady smile and laugh. And Javier, great actor, amazing, inspirational to watch, he just looked at the director and was like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but sure, because it seemed like the director had it in his mind that Javier had planned out the entire character and what his smile is like, what his laugh is like. And Javi was really just like, okay, I didn't think that far ahead. Maybe, the director just probably saw, hey, I really like when you do that. It was more, I think, what he thought was just natural what the character would do. So after he got that note, he's just like, okay, whatever. He didn't have it planned. So then on the next couple of takes, he tried it, and you knew immediately that they nailed the shot, because you could hear their mutterings in the back when they're watching on the monitors. I knew some people who were not in that scene specifically, so they were over and kind of watching the monitors. As soon as they got that take, they came over and said, that looked really good. That's really special. They're going to use that shot probably. And so for me, I'm really excited, because I know it's me, Javi, camera, that setup, like a triangle. And I'm I am clearly going to be seen in the shot if it makes it. I was hoping that, great, it hopefully will make it into the actual final cut, because 70% of things that are filmed get cut. I did not know they were going to use it as the main promotional photo, so I'm very excited about it. So it was really fun to see it. It was something where we knew we caught something special with it. Everybody, normally on set, you don't really get that. You're okay, maybe that was a good shot, let's move on. This one was clear, almost a silence or a calm, where people were this is something that's going to look really good. And obviously they agreed, because they decided to use that as the main promotional image. Working with Javier was amazing. He is an Oscar winner. He is legendary. If you are not familiar with him, look him up. I mean, he's done some amazing work, and he is very professional, intense. And one of the things that I found when I've watched, A-listers, some of the best actors, they are focused 100%. They listen, they take notes, and they give it 100% of their concentration. They are dialed in, and they are not distracted by anything going on. They are focused on their character, what they're doing. They are in the moment, and that's something that I learned from watching him. Completely serious, and he tries to nail it every time, and he has made some beautiful things just in that take. It was very impressive to watch him work, and I learned a lot as an actor. I always tell people, you can go to school, you can do all sorts of things for acting, but for me, I've always liked learning by doing, and just being able to see him work, it taught me so much, because you really get to see what it is like for the best of the best to act, and you could kind of learn and pick up from that little bits and pieces. So he was inspirational, very professional, always there, hitting his marks, listening. Sometimes you just play a little bit with it, some takes maybe change a little bit back and forth, how the timing, or where he's going to be stepping, or if he's going to interact with somebody. But really inspirational is what I would say. After seeing him act, I got so much more respect for him as an artist. So it was really great being able to work with him. Other things I can talk about. This was shot in Atlanta or around Atlanta. Some was shot in Savannah. That should be publicly known, because those things are released by the casting companies when they're looking for background. When they were casting, I'm pretty sure all the times they said for Cape Fear, so that stuff is publicly known. because it was shot in Atlanta, there are a lot of background extras or I keep saying background extras. There are extras or background actors that I've worked with before. One of the big ones is Tanya Garris, who, weirdly enough, I was actually on set with the day that those images got released, and she actually found out about it. The problem was I wrapped earlier than her on set, so I left, went to drive home while she was still on set. When she saw the images, you can see that she's on the left side of it at a different table, also, looking at Max, Javier. And so we've worked together a few times on a couple of different shows. And if you watch and you are familiar with other shows that have shot in Atlanta specifically, you may see a lot of the same background actors because it's only so big of a pool. They know who are the good background actors and they get used over and over again. So pay attention. I've given some shout outs to some of my friends who also do background work. You probably will see them when this thing releases. I cannot go into who or when or how much, but I can at least say she's clearly in it. I worked with her a bunch, and there probably will be some other people that you might recognize in terms of background cast. So I've seen online a lot of people being not so happy about this being a remake. If you've seen the original, it's a very good movie. It's a classic. It's had its own memes. It's inspired characters on The Simpsons. So people were upset because it's a rehash, and we've gotten a lot of rehashes, people remaking old things. But really, this is not a remake. It's not a shot-for-shot reproduction. It is kind of taking the inspiration, and it's taking the big themes. Yes, it's repeating those, but it is its own thing. I would kind of liken it to the Hannibal series. It wasn't rehashing exactly Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, and all that. It was making its own thing, and it was being new and itself. This is probably going to be very similar. I can't speak to how much because, one, that's something I can't disclose, and, two, I don't know how similar exactly the whole thing is going to be, but I can say that it is not the exact same. You're not going to be seeing the movie again. You will be seeing its own kind of thing. It'll take its own directions. It will be different enough where you're not just going to be like, okay, I've already seen this. Why am I watching this again? So I would say give it a chance. It's going to be different. You're not going to just see the same stuff rehashed. One thing I can speak about is this show is going to be beautiful. They did not spare any expense. You can tell by the cast that's already been released. They got some of the best actors in the business. They shot at some of the best locations. They did not cheap out on anything. The crew was amazing. The directors were amazing. Everybody was the best in their fields, and they didn't cheap out on things. They made sure they took the time and the money to do it right. I mean, we've got big names behind this. Scorsese, we have Spielberg, Apple. They don't want to look cheap. They don't want to make a bad product. Now, Scorsese and Spielberg are producers because they own the rights to this. If you don't know the story, it's a really interesting story how Spielberg originally had them, but then kind of traded them with Scorsese because, it wasn't a good fit for him, and Scorsese thought he'd be able to do it better, so they kind of did like a swap out with movies, but they still kind of have rights to it. They're attached as producers, but producers. They're not directing. But their names are still important, and their names are being plastered all over the place. So everybody has a very strong interest in making this as good as possible, and I think it's going to show, because even from the couple images they've released, they look beautiful. They really worked on the cinematography, and as the meme would say, this is
absolute cinema.
Like it should be amazing. I don't want to speak, up too much, but I am very cautiously optimistic that it will look good and that the acting will be very good because they put the time and effort into this, and hopefully it will show in the final product. We'll have to see in June. Hopefully I'm not proven wrong, but I've seen lots of other sets. I've seen how much time and energy they put in, and not to say that they don't put in time and energy, but this one was even more so. Like they really care about the quality, and hopefully we'll see that when it premieres. I really think that's it in terms of what I can talk about. One hard thing is, I know spoilers. We shot this a while ago. I cannot say how many days I worked. I can't say what I did. I can't say what's going on. But I do know a lot of things. And what's very annoying about working in the industry is we get a whole lot of secrets. and we have to sit on them. We have to sit on them for months to years sometimes. So there are a lot of things that I do know. I really wish I could tell you all of them, but sadly I can't. Maybe when it premieres I can tell to you all a little bit more about it, but really I got to kind of sit on my hands and not say anything. I would say get excited, look forward to it. Hopefully it's a fun ride, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I'm Frank Ciopatini with Servetti Software, and I will see you in the next one. Servetti helps services run better. For a demo or free trial, email frank@servetti.com or leave a comment.